Alright, UFC 299 just happened. Just woke up. Tired as shit. Let's get straight into the video. So, Joanna Wood just fought Marina Moroz. Joanna Wood won. I thought it was a lot closer than... Like, if people were claiming this was robbery, I would not be surprised. Um, First two rounds, I thought Marina Moroz won. Um, and then Joanna Wood knocked her ass, like, literally almost flatlined her in round three with a spinning back fist. Great retirement fight. Decent performance. I mean, it's low level women's flyweight, so you can't be expecting like a Robbie Lawler performance on his retirement. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. Joanna Wood, I like her. I thought she was going to win. I thought she was gonna just be slightly ahead every round on the striking. Nah, she wasn't really. Marina Rose, biggest problem is that she sucks. She's terrible. She's an awful women's flyweight. She wants to look like she's winning by yelling every time she was hitting like a tennis player. But like she's just shit, you know? And she'll hug you to the ground and just throw little baby strikes. And that's it. Like she's just terrible. It's crazy that she's 31, 11 and 6, and she's way worse than Joanna Wood. And Joanna Wood's been around, you know what I mean? So I'm happy Joanna Wood retired. Feel like she should have definitely after this fight. She looked good. You know, I liked her personality, but other than that, it's just like it's women's flyweight. Is what it is. Moving up, we have CJ Vergara versus Asu Almabayev. I was really excited to see Asu Almabayev. Um, and he did worse than I thought, and I think Asu Almabayev is gonna run into big, big, big problems in the UFC. CJ Vergara unfortunately can't defend a takedown, which is just like that's him. His corner also needs to be replaced immediately because CJ's corner was constantly telling him, "Yeah, you're doing good. You know, just keep that bottom position, get those butterflies in. Yeah, yeah, just keep doing that." No, CJ, you're shit. Stop staying on your back. I will say CJ's striking was looking clean. If you did watch the fight, there was a few combos that CJ was throwing that were just high level. He was doing like a nice check lift hook into an uppercut that he almost landed. If he landed that uppercut, I'm almost 100% certain that Asu would have been knocked out cold, like flatlined on the canvas. Asu was getting tagged a lot. He came in saying that he was gonna like wow the crowd and be entertaining. He's not. He laid on CJ, and I think that was the only way he wins. If this was a striking fight, I think Asu gets put out like cold, badly. You know, CJ just looked better than him on the feet. But CJ, he just has low IQ. He's just one of these low IQ strikers that just love being on their back, being like, "Yeah, I'm winning the fight." No, you're not. Sit down, little bro. The Chechnyan fighter gets it done. Decision is what it is. He definitely, I think he won every round, but man, he looks so chinny. Like every strike looks like he was snapping his head back. You know what I mean? He's young, I think. He's like 30, 31, something like that. So he's got time to grow, something like that. Yeah, I think. And CJ's 32, something like that. He's got time to grow ish, but I think it's rough for flyweight to not have a chin. And he also seems like he gets tired very, very fast. He recovers really fast, but you can tell that he's not built for 5 rounds. Like he's just not, you know? So it'll be interesting what happens with that with Asu Almabayev moving forward. But I think he might get ranked, but I don't think he lasts long in the UFC, I'll be honest. Good record, so he'll probably retire with a really good looking record. It is what it is. Moving up, we have Rebellis Spain against Josh Parisian. If you bet Josh Parisian, you don't deserve to be betting on any UFC fighter ever again in your entire life. Josh Parisian shit. He's a heavyweight with no power. He's sloppy. He has no takedown defense. He has no grappling background. He literally wakes up and they called him in to fight Robelis de Spain for his fucking UFC debut. He's a fat, obese, almost missed weight heavyweight. How are you 266, shorter than your opponent, and just fat? Like, he looks like Pletty. You know what I mean? He makes Tai Tuivasa looks like Tai Tuivasa's in shape. You know what I mean? Like, Parisian's shit. This should have been like a minus 2,000 plus 1,500 fight. You know, like, this is not even close. These two are on different planets. And I know I did the video, or I'm doing videos where you pick the underdog. I think I even mentioned in that video, do not pick Josh Parisian. Do not bet Josh Parisian. He's that shit. Rebellis to Spain, if you watch his fights, yes, he's only fought people who are 3-1 collectively. You know what I mean? Or whatever that stupid narrative I was seeing all the time is. But he's finishing them. It's fast. He's an Olympic fighter. So he has, like, experience in the big leagues. And he's a freak. He's like if you had Ngannou's work ethic and power. It's literally like if you took Ngannou's attributes, skills, and put it on Tyson Fury's body, and then you had Tyson Fury actually trained to fight. Like, he is on another level of just. I didn't know humans were made like this, you know? Like, he's crazy. He's insane. The physique, 6'9", 88 inch reach advantage. Fuck, that's hard to say. Um, 88 inches of reach. He's insane. He's a freak human. Like, this should be illegal. Like, bro, God needs to nerf some of these humans sometimes. You know what I mean? And like sometimes when you think, fuck, I don't want to be in the UFC, it's when this guy's looking at you. It's crazy. Um, I think he deserves a ranked opponent. Just give him a ranked opponent. Uh, and if anyone's like, oh, well, he slipped. Oh, he almost got caught by Josh. Yeah, he slipped. I think his peak and his striking is really going to showcase. He's going to showcase that he knows really well where he is compared to his opponent. And you see this with like high level strikers. They're pinpoint accurate, even off balance. I don't think he missed a strike. Um, I guess he missed two. That might have been earlier on though. But even off balance, he landed pinpoint. They were strong, rocked him. Give him a ranked opponent. I don't really know who, but just give him a ranked opponent. There's no reason waiting for this guy. 5-0. He's not Shamil Gaziev. Shamil Gaziev looked like shit in all of his fights. Even in his wins, they were terrible, especially against Martin Bidet. Bidet, I hope you never fight again. That was embarrassing that you lost that fight. But Robelis gets it done. Give him a ranked opponent. Why not? He's 35, about to be 36. So let him fly through the rankings. See how far he gets, you know? He probably ragdolls everyone up until, the Curtis Blades level. And by ragdoll, I mean put their body on the canvas with his striking. Michael Pereira versus Mikel Olin that. Mikel the Poland. Mikel Pereira, I thought was going to struggle a little bit in this fight, so I was picking Mikel. But it was like a 50-50 fight. I wasn't like, whatever. And I thought this should have been a 50-50 fight anyways. Mikel Pereira struggles with cardio, but he showcased that he's just built different. Comes in with a dancing routine off the get-go. It was a sick intro. He comes in, hurts Mikel to the body really badly, and we see Mikel in his previous fights get hit to the body and kind of just shrug it off. Or he does this thing where he gets hurt and his face doesn't move, but he'll move his body like he's in a lot of pain, you know? But there was a knee to the body, right after he got up to the cage, that Mikel Pereira landed, and you could see in his face that he wanted out. That would have been a TKO if Mikel just let go. You know what I mean? But Mikel literally grabbed his back. This was like a Shavkat Jeff Neal situation, and just rear naked choked his ass. Lashed it up really quick, just fucking sinked it in there, and choked out the Polish man. You could tell he didn't want to tap too, so it showed heart. I saw the argument for this fight was so stupid. Everyone was saying how Mikel was a light heavyweight moving down. He's not a light heavyweight. The dude is not built like a light heavyweight. He's not even taller. I don't think he's taller than Pereira. And he's just like he looks soy. You know what I mean? It's hard to pinpoint what it is, but it looks like he's no muscles. You know, he's just tough. You know, he does hit hard. But yeah, Mikel Pereira could honestly make a run in this middleweight division and just run through everyone because everyone in the middleweight division sucks. Like if Pfeiffer can't beat Jack Hermanson, oof. Pereira's actually looking like the best prospect. You know, he's only 30 years old. He's been around for a long time. 30-11 is a wild record at 30 years old. Dude's good. Keep him around. Good. Yeah, I think he deserves a ranked opponent. Maybe like Delidze after Delidze loses his next fight, or like Hermanson, maybe something like that. But yeah, it was a good fight too. It was a really sick fight to watch. Yeah. Moving on, Jan Kutalaba against Felipe Lins. I was more on the Felipe Lins side, but Jan Kutalaba is just shit. Like I thought Lins was gonna win, but I thought it was gonna be a situation where he just like out grapples Jan Kutalaba. Uh, Kutalaba just sucks. He's terrible. Get him out of the UFC. He's actually shit. There's fighters that are inconsistent, like Eor Pateri is one. You have Jan Kutalaba. You have Pedro Munoz. You have what's another like inconsistent? Oh fuck, what's his name? Semi the Jedi. They're just inconsistent and shit. Like they're either shit or they're like insane as far as IQ goes. But you show up looking like the Hulk and you can't even wobble a 40-year-old man. You know, the odds were so in Kutalaba's favor here. There's no other way around it. You know what I mean? And I know Total Strikes, he landed more and everything. Felipe Lins was just ahead. Like, you could tell he was landing harder. But he's 40 years old. He's not putting out Jan Kutalaba. He's not putting out another light heavyweight at 40 years old. It's just not happening, you know? But Lins isn't that good, you know? Moicano, his teammate, picked against Felipe Lins. That's how in favor it was for Kutalaba. His own teammates are picking against him, and he loses by getting outpointed. Or sorry, his own teammates pick against him, and he wins against a fucking young, up-and-coming light heavyweight that somehow makes it close with Glover Teixeira, but can't do anything against anybody else at all. You know, he it's not even a case of like, oh, he just did bad this fight. He's shit. He sits there and he'll take damage, never deal damage, and just wait until you're against the cage to do something, and then throws one strike, eats shit, and then he almost gets finished by Felipe Lins. Like, it's insane how bad Jan Kutalaba is, man. You know, I'm glad I didn't. I would not bet this fight. I'm glad I went with Felipe Lins, but fuck, man, just cut him. Like Kutalaba sucks. Just cut him. Get him out. We don't need him stinking up the light heavyweights. You know, 17-10. Just get him out. Moving up, we have Pedro Munoz, Kyler Phillips. I was on the Munoz side. Shout out to We Want Picks. You know, with their lock of the week being Pedro Munoz. Great video. Pedro Munoz, I actually thought he had a really, really good chance. Kyler Phillips did not look good. He won, very, like, you know, decisively. He won every round, clear. But he's shit. He misses everything he throws. He can land one or two good kicks, but his striking is terrible. His striking defense is terrible, and Munoz just needed to throw. Now, Kyler Phillips is a dirty rat cheater that I poked Munoz twice intentionally in the first round that I saw. Some people are saying 3 times. Munoz just wasn't on, I guess. Like, it's almost like he lost the first round and was like, damn, they didn't take a point after that. Well, looks like I just lose the fight. And then he threw the next 2 rounds. Like, he did nothing. No takedowns, Nothing, you know? Um, a lot of people are saying that Munoz was going to try for a guillotine or something. He just didn't do anything at all, you know? I don't think Cut Munoz, MMA guru, did his tangent, like, get him out of the UFC, clearly doesn't want to win. I don't think he's that bad, you know? But I think he's a good gatekeeper to see if you're ready for. He's a good cardio test. So if there's ever a question of like, does this fighter have cardio? Give Munoz that fight, basically, I think. Moving up, we have Gamrot versus RDA. Gamrot won. I thought it was going to be just a clear 30-27 domination. Um, RDA had a really big moment in round one where RDA caught him when Gamrot was shooting for a takedown, wobbled him pretty bad, and then almost put him down with a fucking 1-2, you know? And we're seeing a lot of grapplers now being exposed for having absolutely no chin. You have Umar, you have Gamrot, you have Burns, but, we'll get to Burns when we get to Burns. And then we have, what's another grappler? I think Armin's also chinny. Armin, I think, will be very chinny. But we see a lot of these grapplers where they just have no chin. You know, they shoot one takedown wrong, and that's lights out. And they're getting smarter. These wrestlers are getting smarter, and every time they get rocked or wobbled, it seems like they're training to shoot for a leg. And that's exactly what Gamrot did. Gamrot, got the back a few times, grappled a few times. RDA looked really, really good, for 40 years old. But at 40, you're just not going to be able to do anything, really. Round one, he was definitely live, but past that, you could tell that RDA is just. He just has no finishing potential at all, So I'm glad to see Gamrot won. Good for the division. Give Gamrot one more fight and then probably a title. Yeah, probably loser of Armin Oliveira, I think, would be fair. But yeah, good fight. Gamrot is a more entertaining Marab, so it's not like this was a shit fight. He was showcasing okay striking against RDA, but if he didn't dismantle Rafael Fiziv's knee in that fight, I think Gamrot gets put out cold. So maybe we do a title eliminator bout against Fiziv Gamrot soon, whenever Fiziv's fully healed up, because it's been like 10 months since he's fought or something. It's been a while. Yeah, I think Gamrot gets put out cold by any good striker. He definitely doesn't win any champion belts at all in the top 5, but he's a good grappler to watch. Some people say he's boring. I think he's okay. He's just a more entertaining Marab. Not personality, but as a fighter. Moving up, Caitlin Chukagian, Macy Barber. I fell asleep on this fight. It was just boring. Caitlin, I think it's important to note, Caitlin literally knocked herself out by diving for a takedown in round 1. And if that ref was on the side of, like, Chukagian where he could see Chukagian eat shit, it would have been called off. But I think Macy Barber woke up Caitlin by throwing punches, and then the fight resumed. And then in round 2, Caitlin rocks Macy Barber pretty hard. I think both these women are shit. I think they're just terrible. Like, it's just women's flyweight, It's just, both of them are terrible. They were bad. Terrible for performance by both of them. Caitlin literally knocked herself out. Macy Barber literally looked like shit against an old woman who's been around forever. Just cut them both, to be honest. Like, it's just shit. Remove the women's whole fucking division. It's just terrible. Moving on, Curtis Blades, Jolton Almeida. I was on Jolton Almeida's side. I thought I am a fan of Jolton Almeida. Now, a lot of people say he's boring, he ruins the division, maybe a guru. But I actually like Jolton Almeida. I think he's a decent person. He's not like a great personality, But his fighting style is high-level grappling in heavyweight. You just don't see it. It's a nice mix-up between, the fucking Josh Parisians, and then, like, would you rather see Josh Parisian, Martin Bidet, Shamil Gaziev, fucking Mark Rogeros de Lima, or would you rather see like a grappling match with Jolton just ragdolling heavyweights? I don't know. Personally, I think grappling's cool. You know, I think it's fun. First loss in UFC, and it's like this was Curtis Blade's test to see if he's got good grappling. And yeah, he's Curtis Blade actually showcased he has way better grappling defense than I think everyone was predicting. Um, and yeah, he put Almeida out because Almeida just hugged the leg. He had no idea what to do. It's almost like Almeida had a plan. Everything was going to plan. And then in round two, when he dove for the leg and grabbed it, he got hit. And then he was just like, oh shit, what do I do now? He's actually fighting me. Uh, uh-oh. And then he just fucking lost consciousness, you know? Shout out to Curtis Blades. I like Curtis Blades. I'm happy he won, even though I picked Jolton and I thought Jolton was going to win. And I am still a Jolton fan. Just going to say it. But Curtis Blades winning, you know? It's cool. I like to see Curtis Blades win after getting, put out by Sergey, put out by Francis, put out by somebody else I can't remember at the moment. But yeah, after getting put out, it's just nice to see him win. Like Curtis Blades is perfect showcase of like a good heavyweight. You know, he's well rounded. Like Curtis Blades is what every heavyweight should be. You know, like I know there's John Jones right now. Fuck John Jones. He's gonna retire anyways. And there's Tom Aspinall. Tom Aspinall is what I think a fighter should be. Curtis Blades, I think, is what a heavyweight should be. You know what I mean? Like, well-rounded, doesn't want to grapple, and just wants to fucking swing and bang, you know? And exploits, like, idiots using shitty tactics. So, I like to see Curtis win. It was a good win. Good win. You know? Good for Blades. Maybe do the Tom Aspinall rematch, you know? Now that Tom Aspinall's knees all healed up. But yeah, Peter Yan versus Song Yudong. I was actually on the Song Yudong side. I thought Peter Yan was just gonna slide off. But man, a lot of these fights are just like, I am not upset with any of the results, but I'm happy with the results that happened. You know what I mean? So Peter Yan beat Song Yudong, pretty decisively, 29-28. It was pretty close. Song Yudong actually was making it fairly competitive, and definitely gave Peter Yan PTSD because Peter Yan knows he can't defend a takedown very well. Thanks to Marab, EPO. You know, that's what that is. But insane cardio for 5 rounds every single fight. But anyways, Peter Yan gets it done. He's still one of the better strikers. I definitely think his striking's overrated, saying he's like the best boxer, best striker. He's not. He's just not. But he's good. He's really good. Happy to see him win, you know? It's tough for Peter Yan because it's like, who does he fight now? You know? Like Henry Cejudo? Maybe. And then, like what? A rematch with Sean O'Malley? Or a rematch? Like, he's not going to rematch with Aljo because Aljo's in featherweight, so tough spot. Peter Yan's still young. He's still like only 31, so he's still got time. Song Yudong, it sucks. Is what it is. I don't think Song losing this loses him any stock. You know what I mean? Like he kept it very, very competitive. Like this was a pretty much dead even fight, other than Peter Yan just being ahead in 2 of the rounds. Anyone saying that Yan won the first round, I think was just not watching the fight, and you're biased, MMA guru. But I do think it was a good fight. You know, happy for No Mercy. Sucks for Yudong, because now Yudong's probably gonna have to fight like a new up and comer or something. You know, I don't think Song should fight someone really low in the rankings. Like, who's number 6 right now? Because I think he's number 7, right? Song's number 7. 6 is Cejudo. Huh. Song Yudong Cheeto, I think would be the next one because I think Song's proven that like he beats mostly everyone down here. He beat Ricky. He beat I don't know if he beat Mario, but yeah, he beats Pedro. I think he beats Cruz. He beats Martinez. It's probably a 50-50 with Umar, but Umar's supposed to fight Corey. I think he beats Rob Font. Like, I think he decisively beats most of like the people below him. He's young, so it's not like he's aging or falling off or anything. So I think just give him like a Henry or a Cheeto Vera. You know, Peter Yan should actually rematch Corey Sandhagen. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think that's the fight to make personally. But good fight. Happy with the result. Yeah, a really good card overall. Gilbert Burns, Jack Della Maddalena. This sucks to see. I was on Gilbert Burns' side just because I thought JDM is not going to be able to handle the grappling. He couldn't. He's got great takedown defense, so I think he does really good against grapplers. But Gilbert Burns was having moments where it's like, ooh, that stung him, you know. JDM definitely landed a few blows here and there. Gilbert Burns just got caught with a knee while he went for a takedown. You know, it's just it's so predictable what wrestlers do now that all of them get exposed for doing the same thing over and over and over again, or grapplers, I'll say. So Burns and this should have been more of like a Hamzat. He should have treated this like Hamzat, where he's trading and everything. And I know that risks him getting put out, being 10 years older, but he would have fared better, in my opinion. I think he should have just swang, banged, whatever happens, happens. He gets TKO'd. Some people are saying it was a late stoppage. I think it was fine. I think Gilbert Burns was still with it, but JDM definitely won. JDM calling out Shavkat sick. Going on my merry way. Shavkat Rachmanov. So, yeah. I mean, JDM's sick. He's a sick fighter. I don't like his personality, but he's a sick fighter. So I think him, Shavkat would go really well. I think Shavkat wins, but JDM, he clearly actually wants to fight the best of the best. He doesn't want like pussy shit, you know? So it's good to see. Moving on, we have Kevin Holland, MVP. This is pretty much how I predicted it was going to go. A lot of people said this was going to be boring. I don't think MVP's ever had a boring fight. I love MVP. I love watching him fight. I loved his walkout. I loved everything about this fight. He was pushing Kevin Holland down. Kevin Holland was getting fucking his ass kicked. He got beat on every striking exchange and almost got beat in every grappling exchange. There was one moment where Kevin Holland got a good takedown. Other than that, MVP just got up, was mocking him mid. Like, if you haven't seen this fight, try to find a way to legally watch this, or sorry, legally watch this fight. Because this fight was sick. MVP did MVP things, and MVP is gonna move on to be ranked. Everyone's saying that he should fight Wonderboy. Him and Wonderboy are boys. If you watch MVP, you know. So they're not gonna fight. I hope not. I hope not. I just don't want to see one of them get put out by each other. Um, who's? I don't know. I don't even know who to give him, to be honest. But ooh, like give him like a Luke. Luke would be sick. Um, Damn, Neil Magny's 12th. That's kind of crazy. Give him like a Luke. Give him like Sean Brady might be tough. Ian off a loss, maybe. Colby off a loss. I think that fight would be sick. Like Colby off another loss. They could even give him Burns, and I think he would do pretty decent against Burns. But I think the Colby, Ian, Sean, or Luke fight is the fight to make. Just something entertaining, something to make him look good while also being like, yeah, this guy could fight for the title. You know? Really good fight. Really impressed with MVP. Turns out Kevin Holland just doesn't want to win anymore. I was a Kevin Holland fan. I appreciated Kevin Holland for stepping up on short notice against Hamzat Shamaev. I thought that was sick. And then he just goes downhill after that. He fights Wonder Boy, and agrees to strike until he decides to shoot takedowns because he's losing striking and he wants to win. He loses and then says, well, it's a striking match. Wonder Boy, come fight me again. Like, shut up. You lost. You would lose again. It's clear. Um, you're done. And then he decides to fight. Was it Chiesa next? I think he fought Chiesa next, which is an office desk worker. And of course, he beats an office desk worker. I think anyone beats an office desk worker. You could have anyone in the welterweight division beat Chiesa because Chiesa just doesn't fight at all anymore. It's just the truth. And then he loses to JDM because he doesn't really want to go for the belt anymore. He has King in his bio, but he's no longer the King, so he had to remove that mid fucking interview. This fight, he just doesn't want to fight anymore. He did like it's clear he just doesn't want to like cut him. Use him as a stepping stool for the next up and comer. He doesn't care about fighting. He doesn't want to fight anymore. There's no reason to have him. Get him out of the UFC. There's no point. You know, like I'm not sure what he's getting paid. Cut his pay in half for all I care. I used to be a fan, but he's just shit. Or here's the thing with Kevin Holland. He's not shit. He's really talented and he's really good. His IQ is questionable, but outside of that, when he wants to win, he could win, but he'll never want to win again. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's crazy to think that he's 25 and 11. He's still around his prime age. I think he's like low 30s. But he just never wants to win any of these fights. Like, JDM was winnable if you just struck with him or took him down or mixed up anything, or wanted to be the champion of your division. Kevin Holland's just a crybaby. He's soy. I might even make a video on how Kevin Holland should just not be in the UFC anymore because of how bad he is as a fighter. MVPs, this was a perfect matchup for MVP out of everyone because MVP was going to frustrate Kevin Holland and Kevin Holland was just going to be shit. If you watch Kevin Holland in the fight, this guy literally, he would get hit. MVP would like mock him, like the mocking. It was sick. And then Kevin Holland would just get angry, visibly angry, and just start running at him with no planting, going, eh, 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 eh. Like, that's it. Like, that's all he did. It was shit. You're terrible, Kevin Holland. When you don't want to try, like, try to win the fight for once, please. And I thought exactly what was going to happen was that Kevin Holland was going to have some success on the feet, but he didn't. But he was basically going to get rocked, and then he was going to just wrestle the rest of the fight. He pretty much tried to wrestle most of the fight, and MVP just is better, like straight up. He almost got Douglas Lima'd. He almost got up from, slip he had, and he almost got chinned. But MVP, everyone's like he's 36, da 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 da, blah 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 blah, right? Gilbert Burns looked really good against Madalena. He's 37. Jim Miller is a special case, but he's 40. Looked good against his last opponent, who was actually like doing pretty good, or is like an actual good fighter. MVP has never looked bad in any of his fights. Arguably beat Mike Perry. Just gonna say it. But MVP is him. He's just good. He's still got like that fast muscle twitch. He's still decently fit. He's still there, He's got the reach. He's got the style. He's like, I don't know why everyone's like he's 36. He's not good anymore. Are we forgetting that literally last year he went to a 5-round war with Mike Perry and he should have won? So if we're taking away striking, okay, now there's jiu-jitsu and wrestling and everything. Do you not think he's training that if he's this good at fucking striking? Like, what? I don't know. To me, it was just like clear that Michael Venom Page was going to win. If Kevin Holland didn't have a granite chin, he would have been KO'd 7 times in this fight, minimum. Like, so many wild strikes, like that spinning elbow, fucking the 1-2s were landing so clean. Like, if Kevin Holland didn't have a granite chin, he would not be in the UFC. He is Marvin Vettori. Kevin Holland is a worse Marvin Vettori. I'm going to say he's a worse Marvin Vettori. He has the chin. He has more skills than Marvin Vettori in striking and grappling, but he never wants to use them, ever. So he's never going to win again. I think he's going to get cut his next fight. Give him... Ooh, who's an up-and-coming 170? Bo Nickal's middleweight. Sharabun's middleweight. Fuck, who's the 170 outside the rankings? I don't even know. Just give him Mike Malott. I think Mike Malott ragdolls Kevin Holland and might actually win. And that's a Canadian. You know, I'm Canadian, by the way. Anyways, moving on. Dustin Poirier. Oh, against Benoit Saint Denis. I am so happy with this result. My pick was Dustin Poirier because I can't pick against Dustin Poirier. It's just in my blood. But I told myself I'd never bet against Benoit Saint Denis, so I didn't. I thought Benoit was going to win, but I just wanted Dustin to win. Man, did Dustin gave Benoit, like, Dustin's corner was perfect at being like, stop pulling guillotines. Because, Dustin, stop pulling guillotines. Please. Stop pulling guillotines. But outside of that, he was losing every exchange, but he was giving too much respect to Denis. He was almost expecting, like, Dustin was almost expecting to get knocked out. You know what I mean? But his striking defense is just on another level than Denis, and that's saying something. And he still got power at 35, you know? And everyone's like, 35, da 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 da. Bro, fighters until they're 40, I don't think is like a red flag. Like, I mean, you could look at fucking Edson Barbosa, still a killer. You can look at Jim Miller, still a killer. You can look at Bobby Green, sick fighter. We don't talk about his last fight. Outside of that, still could be a killer, you know? Like, age for some guys just don't affect them the same way. And I think with Dustin, he's just one of those guys. You know, 30-8, great, phenomenal record, confirmed to be in the Hall of Fame one day. I don't even know for what. Doesn't deserve a title shot, I will say that. He needs one more fight, then he gets a title shot. I'm a Dustin Poirier lover, you know? Literally. But, great fight. Really happy with the results. Puts Benoit Saint Denis out cold. I think I even called it in a video, maybe, that I think Benoit Saint Denis was knocked down, or he was brutalized at one point pretty bad. So I think Poirier has a chance. Poirier gets it done round 2. Looks good in the finish. Yo, buzz cut Dustin Poirier at 35 is just different. He's just different, you know? Give him the Charles rematch. If Charles wins and then loses to Islam again, give him the Charles rematch for #1 contender. That's my take. Dustin only fights once a year. Makes sense. I think that's a fight to make. If Charles loses, give Dustin that fight anyways. That's the fight to make. It just is. Sean O'Malley against Chito Vera. I will say Chito Vera is most dangerous in the 5th round. And Chito Vera either is switched on or he's switched off. He was switched off this night, but if he was switched on, I think it's clear he loses no matter what. Chito Vera is just not the same fighter he was. Sean O'Malley surgically dismantled Chito Vera in every single aspect. This was like, Sean O'Malley has one of the worst on-mic personalities of any fighter ever in the entire UFC's career. But he's a fantastic fighter, and you can't deny that. His corner is perfect at telling him what to do. Tim Welsh, absolutely a G as a coach. Ginger as well, so that makes him even more of a Chad. Sean O'Malley is just him in the cage, you know? He's too good. He's actually just too good. He's on another level than every bantamweight striker there is. You know, I love Corey. I think Sean O'Malley after this performance should be a favorite in every single matchup in the bantamweight division, and I don't think most of them are even close. I think Merab might be a favorite. I like Sean O'Malley's chances against Merab. I liked it before this fight, but I like it even more knowing that he can survive for 5 rounds with very little problem. And you might say, oh, well, Cheeto Vera was a punching bag that whole fight. Yeah, he was. Sean O'Malley was doing a massive amount of output, and Cheeto Vera's whole plan is to get you tired by winning every single round, and then he beats you in the fifth round. He couldn't do this at all. Like, he shut down Cheeto Vera everywhere. He showed visible damage on Cheeto Vera. I don't like if you don't watch UFC, it is extremely rare to even cut Cheeto Vera. He's never been fucking rocked, and tonight we saw Sean O'Malley genuinely rock Cheeto Vera. Um, this was a tough matchup style wise. I think this was one of the worst styles for Sean O'Malley to fight, other than Marab, and he got it done in an amazing fashion. Just to brag a little bit, I picked Sean O'Malley in the Aljamain Sterling fight. I just thought Aljo likes to challenge fighters at their own game. Like, he wanted to prove that he could just beat Peter Yan, so he backpacked like he normally did. He wanted to prove he could submit somebody against Dillashaw. I'm pretty sure in the build-up he was talking about submitting him, submits him, and then he wanted to out wrestle the Olympic wrestler. And then he decided to try to strike with Sean O'Malley, and you just can't do that. And this showcased that perfectly to a T, you know? So happy he won. Overall, I think this card was the best card by the year by far, not even fucking close. And I'm happy with all the results. Curtis Blades fixing heavyweight division, very good. Gamrot beating the old test of RDA. RDA should just retire. Um, and then the main card was just bangers. Peter Yan back on a winning streak. Jack Della Maddalena getting it done, calling out Shavkat. Sick number one contender match. MVP showcasing that Kevin Holland doesn't fucking belong in the UFC. Get him out. Finally. Dustin Poirier beating his toughest test and Benoit Saint Denis, according to everyone. Oh man, and then Sean O'Malley. It was just a good card. Like, this card was just sick. It was one of the best cards ever. Okay, let me not get too carried away. It was a sick card. It was a good card. It was a really good card. Best card of the year. I look forward to everyone's next fight. Everyone, except for Kevin Holland. Fuck Kevin Holland. Cut him. He's terrible. Get him out. But yeah. So yeah, that's what happened on UFC 299. These are my thoughts. And yeah, I look forward to UFC 300.